Hello and welcome to another edition of Richland's 30 Minutes. I'm Gail Everett, Environmental Education Coordinator for the City of Richland.
And I'm Mike Charbonneau, Cable Communications Coordinator and tennis pro.
And he wishes.
Yes,
he wishes.
I've never played tennis a day in my life. Well, it's finally that time of year when we get to brag about our beautiful summer weather.
And wind.
And wind, yes, to all our friends and family who don't live here in Richland. And today we figured we better do more than just brag about it. We need to get out and experience it.
That's right. We have escaped our desks, yay, and journeyed to beautiful Howard Amon Park, but more specifically the tennis courts. These courts are a Howard Amon Park mainstay dating back to the early 1940s. But over the years, or decades, these courts began to show their age.
And then that's not saying that the city hasn't worked hard to keep them in great condition. In 1976, the courts received an overlay of crushed rock and asphalt. Lights were added in the 80s, and new fencing was done in 2002. But with all the use these courts received, it was time to just rebuild them and start from scratch.
But the work didn't end with the tennis courts. The city had the foresight to build and beautify the surrounding area, including Amon Park Drive, which was old and outdated. Contract work began in September, just after Labor Day, and the city recently held a grand opening ceremony for the tennis courts. Take a look.
Well, thank you everybody for coming out. This is an exciting morning to come and celebrate one of the newest additions to our park system. And it was really neat last night, leaving the Parks Commission meeting about 8:30. It's dark out. We had all these lights on. Every court was full. And 8:30 last night, people enjoying these courts. And I think as the weather warms up, we're just going to see them used more and more. And it's just a real exciting thing to see what we build being enjoyed by the community. So that's a neat thing to see.
Last year, the Parks and Recreation Department came to the Commission and requested our support for this upgraded activity. And I believe the City of Richland, as well as the Park and Recreation Department, is committed to be known for our beautiful parks and recreational activities. And so supporting this in my term was a no-brainer. So this is just another example of the commitment that the city has for establishing these types of activities. There's a saying, some want it to happen, some wish it to happen, and others make it happen. And that's exactly what typifies the dedication and resolve that the City of Richland, the Park and Recreation Commission, as well as the whole entire department staff has. So besides, you know what they say about tennis, it's all about the love.
One of the reasons we're standing here today is that in 2011, we saw that we were going to have a little surplus, believe it or not, in the general fund, and our Capital Facilities Committee decided to spend that surplus on this project for replacing these tennis courts and, incidentally, widening the street to the community center and putting in a proper sidewalk and so on, and providing a better landscaped entrance to the Lee Boulevard entrance to Howard Amon Park. And that was a one-time way to spend that one-time surplus, and it's done a great deal for the park and for the community and for our ardent tennis players who, I'll tell you, over the years, particularly the senior tennis players. I'm not one of them. I haven't had a tennis racket in my hand on the court for 45 years. But I'm very proud of what we're doing, and I hope we sustain community support for future projects.
At the grand opening ceremony, Parks and Recreation Director Joe Schissel thanked the contractor and city staff for their hard work on the project. But he had even higher praise for Parks Planner Dave Bryant and Capital Projects Manager Phil Pinard, saying they both went above and beyond to make this project a success. And I must say that the new courts, road and landscaping at the entrance of Howard Amon Park make it much more inviting and pleasing to the eye.